In the beginning of the movie, we see two girls, Meg and Kayla, walking in a subway. They are a couple who hangs out late at night. They get in trouble with a bunch of homophobic women in the subway. Kayla loses her patience and flips them off, but Meg gets the beating instead of her. The women throw Meg down the stairs and kick her ceaselessly. They beat her so much that she becomes unconscious. Then the scene changes and we see Meg coming to a beautiful island country. As she comes out of the airport, she sees Kayla. Now we know that Meg breaks up with Kayla after that night, and now a year later, fate brings them together once again. Meg gets invited to her friend Lizzie's wedding on this dreamy island, and she sends Kayla to receive Meg at the airport. She meets her casually and didn't say much. On their way to hotel, we see that Meg is still not fully recovered from that incident, as she freaks out on every little incident. As she reaches the hotel, she meets with her two other friends, Cam and Ruth. The girls just want to have a good time at Lizzie's wedding and on vacation. Meg is too excited and enjoys the company of her friends after a long time. One day before the wedding, Cam plans a whole day for the group to go out before Lizzie gets married, and to sail into the sea, unaware of what's waiting for them. Cam takes all the girls out to the dock for a day of adventure. They leave all the fancy and comfortable yachts, as she's booked a worn-out boat that can barely accommodate 5 people. They all complain about the boat, but Cam says that what would be the meaning of an adventure if we use a luxury boat? Above all, Cam asks them to collect their phone in a bag, to have no interruptions during their rendezvous. Lizzie protested that she needs a phone to communicate with her fiancé, but Meg convinces her to give her the phone, to chill for a moment. After sailing for some time, they reach a remote deserted island. Cam drops Kayla and Meg on the beach, and asks them to take some time alone to settle their dispute. Then she reverses the boat, and the rest of them go to the other side of the island. Lizzie and Ruth too want them to bury the bad blood, and Kayla seems visibly uncomfortable by this. The two find each other after a long time, therefore Kayla apologizes to her for what happened because of her. They sit there for a little while and then decide to go to the other side of the island. They start to swim back to the other side of the island. Meg tells Kayla that she didn't blame her, instead she was unlucky. As they talk, a shark passes by near them, but they didn't notice it. Cam swims and disappears in the water for a long time, where she sees too many toys and other stuff. Look like someone was there before. Her disappearance in the water makes Ruth worried, but soon she comes out of the water saying she is not going to die before Lizzie's marriage. Meg and Kayla reach where the rest of the gang stopped. Kayla and Meg fake that they're back together to pull their leg, and they also propose that they could marry the same day Lizzie is getting married. In the middle of the laughs and giggles, as they all are very happy at the reunion of both Meg and Kayla, suddenly, something pulls Ruth's leg from under the seawater. It changes the mood of everyone, despite Ruth repeatedly saying that she is fine, but as the water around her gets red of her blood, they rush towards her, while Ruth screams of worry and pain. A piece of her leg has been bitten off, and Lizzie gets too much worried for Ruth, as she blames that Cam has brought them to shark-infested waters. Cam tries to stop the bleeding, but as the wound is too large, they can't stop the blood. They all rush to the boat and tries to contact someone, but they find no signal on their phones. Lizzie takes the wheel, and she somehow drives the boat, hoping to reach shore as soon as possible. When Lizzie sees that Ruth's continuously bleeding and they can't stop it, she speeds up. Lizzie inadvertently crashes the boat into a coral reef, and soon the chaos and panic takes over. The boat gets flooded, and as Lizzie reveals that she can't swim, Meg gets worried for her. Now they are in the middle of ocean and they don't know how far they are from the shores. They search for the life jackets, and to their misery, it's only one life jacket in the boat. For this all of them gets mad at Cam, as she didn't check it before hiring the boat. With only one life jacket available and the sharks hovering around for the fresh meat, the girls needed to survive in the water. As the boat goes down, all of them holds Ruth's body, who's now unconscious. They put the life jacket on Ruth's body, so that she floats over the water while the girls hold her and swim. Cam holds her wounded leg up, as the spilling blood can attract more sharks to the area. Lizzie holds on, and everyone tries to teach her to stay afloat using a small plastic raft. In the middle of the sea, with no help and an injured Ruth, the only solution they come up with is to stab the shark in the nose or gills with a knife. After a short interval of the girls impersonating Ruth and having a laugh, they see Ruth has passed away. Lizzie's bridesmaid dies a day before her wedding, and her bleeding leg makes the rest of them a target for the sharks. Cam convinces the group to let Ruth's body go, and as they left her, her corpse starts to sink under the sea. Before leaving her body, they remove her life jacket and give it to Lizzie, as she was unable to hold on to the raft for long. The group bickers amongst themselves after Ruth's death, and it is decided that someone needs to swim to the land to get help. Kayla agrees to go, as she's the strongest swimmer out of them. Cam and Lizzie get into a fight, and that eventually reveals that Kayla was going to propose to Meg on the night they were attacked. The group only wanted to help them get back together, and that's why they planned this trip to the island. Meg gets desperate to talk to Kayla after this, and she starts to swim towards the land. Meanwhile, Lizzie notices a shark approaching Meg, and Cam gets bitten on the arm trying to save her. Cam sacrifices herself to save Meg and Lizzie, and she swims away with her bleeding arm to draw the shark to her. The shark gets to her, and she drowned with the attack. Meg sees a yacht approaching them, and the hope inside them empowers their lungs to shout for help at its loudest. But the people inside the yacht are busy partying, and never even see the girls fighting for their lives. Meg dreams of Kayla and almost passes out. As the night approaches and a storm led to heavy rainfall, they get some water to quench their thirst. Even in this situation, these two laugh their hearts out, thinking they're still alive. Hanging in the middle of the ocean with their arms holding each other, they withstand the dodgy waters. After treading water for so long, Lizzie finally feels her time has come. She puts the friendship bracelets she made for them in Meg's pocket, and she's gone too. The next morning, as Meg opens her eyes, and she's devastated to see Lizzie is nowhere to be found. She desperately dives underwater to search for Lizzie, but the ocean isn't very empathetic to Meg either. She is about to lose her only source of survival, the life jacket, and therefore quickly ends the search for Lizzie and starts swimming toward the life jacket to catch it. Meg starts to swim towards the land after losing everyone, but she sees a shark coming for her. She somehow kicks her way out of harm, but her hands are bleeding, and blood is attracting more sharks. Meg rubs her blood on the life jacket and throws it in a different direction to distract the shark, and she makes it to a coral reef, which is sitting just right on top of the water. Bruised and bleeding, she bandages her wound with the clothes she was wearing, and passes out on the rocks soon. Her eyes open once again when she notices the tide rising, and it won't be long before the reef she's sitting on goes under the water. Scared for her life, she stands up on the reef while her bleeding knee lets the shark know where its hunt is. The reef is about to sink, and the sharks are getting close that suddenly Kayla returns with a boat, and Meg makes it to the boat just by a tiny margin, saving herself from the knife-sharp teeth of the creature. On the way back, Meg finds the friendship bracelets Lizzie left for her, and both Meg and Kayla break down in tears. It's understandable how hard it is for them to process the death of a friend who truly loved them, and they came to celebrate the beginning of her new life. It seems Kayla and Meg, the two survivors from the deadly trip, decide to get back together, as they should. When the sharks couldn't tear them apart, misunderstandings and fights certainly couldn't either. And at this point the movie comes to the end. Thanks for watching.